morning today, I tried something new and you probably noticed it right off. I have a natural redness to my face. I think it's rosacea, but I'm not sure. And I went and bought this BB cream that was green because it takes away the redness. You don't see red in my face, but there's a odd hue. It's like dark because I didn't get up in my hairline, so that's still white, but everything else is dark. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? I mean, it goes hand in hand with my life practically. Anyway, yesterday I had a break from doing video and my book. And so me and my ex went for a ride for a little bit, and which made me feel so much better. And I'm here to say my hips are mildly hurting for about a couple of weeks now. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I don't want to be painful like I was. I can't. But anyway, with that being said, last night, I've only had 30 minutes of sleep because I'm still on that one day I cannot sleep, the next day I die. It's like I sleep to 12 or 1. That's how bad it is. So last night I did go to sleep, but I woke up and I realized it was just 30 minutes. And I'm thinking there must be a reason. So I look at the foot of the bed and the blue geometric shapes start coming in. They're light blue. And I'm laying there and I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm waking up, so I might as well try to communicate with them. They were kind of like in the middle of my bed. And I would say that they might have been up to my thighs. Maybe I didn't really kind of, scale that out. But I seen what looked like 3 beings, one positively for sure. And the reason why I say 3, the other 2 had something shiny on. And it was either reflecting off my TV or it was just reflecting. And I don't know how it was without lights. If it wasn't the TV, there was nothing else. But I'm focused on the main one that I can see. And now keep in mind that these geometric shapes form around them. It's not like I see them like I see you. And so I'm watching and I'm being patient and I'm kind of making heads and tails. This being was in a suit, a space suit. He had a helmet on. And he was doing this. He was working on something. And it looked like he looked at me, so I waved. And you could see his head go. And I said, I see you. And they had to have known this whole time that I can see them because I'm looking right at them. So after he was shocked, I guess, I started hearing a man's voice. It was kind of low, but kind of soft, like in a whisper. But I couldn't make out what he was saying. And I told him, I said, I don't know what you're saying, or it's not you talking, because my TV was going too. So I was trying to differentiate, trying to separate those two, the TV and him. Differentiate? You know my words. Oh my gosh. I am really sorry because I feel stupid sometimes. I know I'm not. Differentiate. I'm going to be doing this all day because that's a hard word for me. I've noticed the more I do these videos and edit them because I listen, that a lot of my words aren't pronounced right. And the words that I used to could pronounce, I can't no more. It's very difficult. I can eventually get it out. I just had it in my head and it disappeared. But if I keep trying, it does come out. And it's kind of embarrassing. I finished my book today and it's like 48 pages, I think. And typing it out, I'm sitting there thinking, I know these sentences, some of them probably don't make sense, but I have somebody proofreading it. So he seems pretty intelligent. So I hope that comes out okay. I look like I put sunscreen on my face. Or not sunscreen, self-tanner. And I didn't. It's kind of embarrassing because when I started rubbing in, of course it was green. And maybe I put too much on. But I put very little on my fingers. I don't know. I never used it before, so I don't know. I'm just glad there's not a green hue. I cannot remember when I noticed this guy in the spacesuit. He looked like an astronaut. But anyway, I cannot remember if this was before or after I seen him, but they were working on my heart again. And for those of you who don't know, my heart has 2 issues, but they say it's normal. It's PAC and PVC. It's when 2 chambers can pump together at the same time. It's painless. But ever since I was diagnosed with that, the ETs have been coming to me working on my heart. Anyway, so I'm laying there, and at this point, after going through this for so long now, that I felt that it stopped, and I started feeling like my blood was going down. I cannot remember if it was on my left side or my back, but I can literally feel my blood going down. And I'm like, oh, you're doing that again. That's it. I think I said, I put my total faith in you. I can't remember. But if I was going to cross over, I was ready for that too. They didn't pause it for long because they usually pause it. It doesn't beat or anything. This time I didn't hear the silence when your when your heart stops beating, your blood stops circulating eventually, and then your body becomes very silent. And it's so weird because you never hear your body being silent. And so the first few times they did that to me, it freaked me out. And the first time especially, I texted my ex. He was in the bathroom, and I said, my heart just stopped. And he didn't reply until later, I think. I can't remember, but I'm like, okay, yeah, right. I could have just died. And then, I held my hand out to him. And as I had it out, I'm looking at my hand. And I seen these big fingers, and I want to say there wasn't 5. And I cannot remember if they were long, but he wrapped his hand around mine. And I sat there and I looked at it, and I'm smiling because I'm sitting there thinking, this is so freaking amazing. Not everybody can experience that. And so I looked up and I said, thank you. Thank you, and I love you. And I almost started crying, but I didn't. And I withdrew my hand, and I kind of sat there trying to look at him because when he would move, it looked like a blur. But when he stopped, it was like particles of him went back together, and you could see the helmet and everything. You can't see skin color. You can if they appear that way, and that has not happened often to me. These are more like holograms, kind of. Blurry images that you can see the form of. Some of them are like the Invisible Man. I brought that up several times. But yeah, I've seen it in all these forms. I don't know if he was speaking English, but I remember sitting there saying, if you're talking to me, I can't hear you. And then I would hear his voice again, and it sounded faint, like it was far away. And then I heard a male voice again, and I said, if that's you talking, I can't hear you. Can you talk louder? And I don't know if he did again or not. But I was trying to think, is he talking English or is he talking in their language? Because I don't know if he was understanding me. But from what I have gathered since my awakening and my research and everything, that these ETs know English. They know Portuguese. In Portugal, I think it was. I might be wrong. But there was a ship there that was taking samples of our plants and soil, because that is their way of seeing how we are doing. Is our soil okay? Is it damaged? What is the plants like? Is it air polluted? Is something else wrong with it? But their ship was shot down. An eyewitness, I think that was hiding on the side where the UFO crashed, heard one of the ETs saying, "Why?" And then I think he was shot. I can't remember. But he was kept asking why. And as I was listening, I heard "porque." Porque. It was something like that. And I know that meant why. And I'm sitting there thinking, I didn't even know that. I do now. I don't understand why the government is doing this with all the UFOs, because all of them are not bad. And I think that the government is like, we like our screwed up United States that are really just screwed up, and we are in control. And if you good ETs come down and try to take over, you will not succeed. That's how I feel. But I do know that I see more and more of them, and I do know that they will be making contact slowly. I don't want to say this, but I feel like maybe this will happen. But since I have this YouTube and I've been documenting it, or my visits and everything, I feel like they might come down and socialize with us that are having YouTube channels and know a little bit about them. The reason being is because we can post whatever these aliens are saying, ETs are saying to us, and we can broadcast it over YouTube, and other people won't be scared once they know what's going on. I'm going to beg them to take me on the ship. Oh, me saying that, there was another thing going on last night. I said something to him, and I said, okay, is that all you're going to do? Is this it? Are you not going to communicate with me? Or are you not going to do anything? I'd like to experience more. No, nothing. And so I turned over and closed my eyes. And this is the weirdest feeling. And I'm not even joking. The first time I felt this, it freaked me out because I'm claustrophobic. But last night, I just let it happen. And I said, take me. Yeah, take me. I want to go for a ride. Let's go. But I was encased again. You can feel, I don't know how to explain this material or whatever it is, but it's soft. Because it's not rough where it scratches you, or it's not rough where it's going to be bumping on your bones. It like fits you like a glove. It's pretty snug. But you don't suffocate. You don't suffocate at all. Matter of fact, I didn't even feel it around my face. Maybe they know I'm claustrophobic and they fixed that somehow. I don't know. But I felt it go under me also. On the part of my body that I was laying on, that material had went underneath me. And I'm laying there and I'm keeping my eyes closed because I don't want them to stop. And I remember feeling like I was raising up off the bed again, and I slit my eyes, and no, I'm not. And I had one hand on the bed before that happened. And so I was thinking, oh good, I had my hand on the bed so I don't have to move. So if I start lifting, I'll know because I won't be touching the bed anymore. But that didn't happen. I don't know if they put me to sleep and took me or what, I don't know. But I also want to say, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. It's healing. Right there's a bruise. And there's a blood vein. Let me back up. The bruise is a long bruise. It's long and thin. It's not that long, but anyway. And it goes toward a blood vessel like a needle would. You know, when they pull the needle out and you go home and take the Band-Aid off and you can see the bruise that goes into the vein. That's what it looks like. And not too long ago, I had one here, a bright red bruise, and it was tiny. It was smaller than a pencil eraser. I had one here, and it was right there. And it was about the size of a pencil eraser. And it was really dark red. Both of those were, and this one was too. And I was sitting there thinking, if it's that dark and that red, it would be hurting. And I would, the minute I would have hit something, I would have been like, ow, and then remember it. You know what I mean? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think a lot of us pay attention to our bodies like that. But something tells me that I've been leaving quite often. And a matter of fact, I forgot to add this in my book. I have to add it. I wanted to add in there the time where I left. I wasn't taken. I went by myself and met up with the others. But I have this ability, and now that I'm knowing for sure that some of our movies are real, the ETs and stuff, Star Trek, some of that is real, for real, Star Wars. My first memory of this incident, I know I talked about it before, but I love it and I had to talk about it again. I hope you guys aren't making fun of my face. But anyway, my first memory of this incident, I was swaying real gently, just like this. There was a sun or something behind me, and I was swaying in front of a guy who was sitting. I wasn't even on the ground. I was swaying. And the male I was talking to, I don't know if he was artificial or if he was an ET, or he was not a human, and I could tell you why. But I was swaying for a reason. I was listening to him, and I was looking at the light shining in his eye. Because when I would go one direction, I would block the sun and couldn't see it. And then when I went to the other direction, the sun hit his eyes, and I seen his eyes, and they were brown. They were like a starburst brown with white specks. And I'm not talking about itty bitty specks. I'm talking about circular, square, a line, all different shapes of white in there. And he was talking to me about what was going on, what our plan was. He was like a soldier. And when he got done, I said, "You have beautiful eyes." And then I turned and went down the corridor, the hall, and I was gliding. I wasn't walking. And then we entered this room, he and I. When I said, "You have beautiful eyes," and I turned and left, in my peripheral, I could see him get up like he was excited, like, really, really? But I kind of ignored it because I knew what I had to do next. And as I was entering this room, I felt him behind me, and he stayed behind me. I was in the front of him and I think a couple of more entities. I want to say they were ETs too. There were two big, bulky somethings. They weren't human, but they had a girl. And the girl was trying to get away from him. And so I'm thinking, if Star Trek is actually real and Star Wars is actually real, then what I was doing was probably real. But I started screaming. And then it was like a step to the side of me, and I was looking at me, and it freaked me out because my hair, it was like out to here, and it was like slowly waving, just slowly. And my mouth was so wide. It was so wide. And I had my hands out, and I was guiding that vibration and stuff to separate around that girl so she wouldn't be affected. And so I'm guiding that sound, and I remember thinking, I have to get air here in a second. They're going to have to hurry up and get that girl the minute they let go. And my next thing that I saw was they let go and took off. And bam, it was all over. I'm like, whoa. But it was kind of scary. I never seen myself like that before. But it felt real. It felt vivid. It felt like not a dream. And I've accepted it. I'm okay with it because I'm like, it really felt like I was there. It really did. And I know sometimes our soul can disconnect from our earth body and step away and look. I've done that. I have actually done that a lot because I've been practicing. I can come out of my body and then look at me. I have been slipping into other dimensions. Oh, and the bed thumper. If it was him, was thumping the bed lightly and for a short period of time last night, I should say. But yeah, I think I've talked about it before. I would see a certain sign on the building. The one in particular, it was like a brown chrome. It was very pretty, and it was lit up by lights because it was dark outside. And I looked at it, and it was like a trigger, and I went to another world and seen something similar, like a parallel universe kind of. But that other side, the other parallel, is so much better than Earth. Sometimes I feel like the parallel, what do you call them? When you're here and then you're there, but things are the same there, but better or worse, and we're better, you know. And I've seen both. I've seen the Walmarts there. I've seen how they took care of the world there. It was amazing. It was beautiful. And I wanted to stay. The car that I was in was so quiet. It was like not even an engine running. And the weather just felt different. It had rained. And I think it stopped for a little bit because the roads were still wet. And that was different. And I was just soaking it up. But now I can go to the parallel universe at will. And I'm triggered a lot. There's times where I sit here on the bed and I'm like, let's go somewhere. And my mind goes in an area that I've never been before. And I feel weird. I feel detached. And I don't know how to explain it in any other way. But I'm not gone long. And when I come back, it's like a disruption, if that makes sense. It's like, whoa. It's like a surprising, oh my God, I just came back. Where'd I go? Oh yeah, that way. And gosh, I just feel like I'm expanding every day. I ask them to expand me past the point where I'm supposed to be and to have me expand wider in every direction, more than I am right now. And I really feel that they're helping me. My face looks horrible. When I looked in the mirror after I got it all rubbed in, I looked, and at first it didn't look like this, but then I started noticing, oh my gosh, it's turning brown. And then I'm like, oh, that looks so fake. I have to do a video. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I'm sure maybe I'm sure maybe that you guys are laughing at it also. And I am okay with that. You gotta laugh at something. And if I'm going to make you laugh because of this, then I'm glad I did it. That's how I feel. Gosh, me talking about going to a parallel universe, I kind of would like to live on the other side. I feel that Earth will get there. Our Earth here will get there. It's going to take a long time. Because something has to happen with our government, and something has to happen to change our air, our food, and it's going to be a long process. I don't know where I put this or I thought about it. I can't remember. But we were at the store yesterday and I grabbed a bag of lemons, and on the bag it said, naturally seedless lemons. Me and my ex looked at each other and we're like, naturally seedless? That's not natural. They are, what do you call it? Manipulated. It's a different word. Where you manipulate like the, I know you know what I'm talking about. It's something like when you're blending two different vegetables together and it's one manipulated or whatever. They did that to get the seeds out. They actually probably put those lemons in the lab and worked it out somehow where they stopped producing seeds. And I bet that the government wants it like that, so we cannot grow our lemons, our own lemons. And I say that because they're trying to control us. And they're trying to thin us out so they can control us better. But I promise you that when I can, I'm going to buy a big plot of land, when I can afford it, of course. And I'm going to dig deep, a big square, an enormous square, dig it pretty deep, maybe 4 foot deep, maybe even 6, I don't care. And then put a greenhouse over it, and then put raised beds in there, because it's going to be hard for me to bend and pluck. And I'm going to have a lot in there. And then I'm going to put fruit trees everywhere on my land. Vegetables, lemons, avocados, you name it. I'm going to have it everywhere. And chickens, sheep, maybe llamas. I'm going to have the whole shebang. And I'm going to be able to eat off my land. And that makes me so excited. But I feel like we need to hurry up and get these seeds that aren't altered. I have to watch Pinterest more and see how we can, from certain fruits that aren't altered, that's going to be hard because you're not going to know. But I was going to say get the seeds from them and keep them. I don't know. I had to check it out, because even the ones on Amazon, they say, I forget what it is. It's GMO, I think, but they're not altered. And there's quite a bit on there for sale. And I stop and think, is that fake? Are they saying that so you can buy their genetically altered vegetables? That makes me mad. That makes me so mad. They will lie. And they will always lie. Oh, wow. This video is pretty long, but when I edit it, it's probably going to be maybe 20 minutes, maybe. Yeah. But anyway, I'm sorry I missed yesterday, but I'm glad to see you today. And I'm going to end it here. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed my brown face, brownish yellow. And I hope you're having a good day. I want to send each and every one of you love, light, and peace. Bye.